What's going on, guys? This is Dan Wynn, and welcome to the Military Cash Flow. Today, I'm super excited. I am starting my very first cold calling session. As you see in the background, if you're watching this on YouTube, you see I got my Mojo dialer up. I got my mic set up. I got my script, my cold calling script here, my calculator here. I got all the tools that I need to start the wholesaling thing. Now, I've been prepping for this for about, I'd say, a month and a half. What I did was I took a course, a pretty expensive course. I took a course and started networking with a bunch of wholesalers, successful wholesalers that are already doing what I'm trying to do, right? So that's the name of the game, right? You align yourself with people that are doing what you want to do, and you learn from them, right? So that you can build your own platform and create your own systems, right? So that is what I've done, and I'm finally starting to take the action that I want. I'm taking the action on the learning piece, but now I'm taking the action and actually doing this thing. So I've got everything set up, got my system set up, I got all the things worked out how I want to do it, and yeah, I'm about to start taking my first calls, and I'm super excited. So one of the reasons why I'm expanding right into wholesaling, not just buy and hold. As you guys know, I own several properties, own several multifamily homes and things. I'm getting consistent cash flow through those units, which is awesome. That passive income is absolutely awesome. However, in order to scale, in order to get to the level of units that I want to, I need some extra cash. I need some lump sum cash. So that extra couple $1,000s, those few $1,000s that's coming in every single month from rental properties, that's nice. But in order to take down these large units the way that I want to, in order to meet more buyers and to build my network larger, I need to, or what I'm going to do is to start moving into the wholesaling piece so that I can get larger lump sums of money, right? We're talking about the average transaction for the area that I'm going into. The average transaction is anywhere between $7,500 to about $12,500, $13,000 per transaction, right? I know people that are legitimately doing 4, 5, 6 transactions a month like that, and not just in the area that I'm at, but in different areas where their average sale price or their average transaction fee is a lot higher than that. We're talking about $10,000 to $20,000 transaction fees. So these people are doing very well for themselves, making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. Strictly wholesaling. But the name of the game for me, like I said, I'm doing this to build cash flow, or to build to get lump sums of money, to then take those lump sums of money and put those into assets that bring me passive income a month. That's the name of the game. I want that financial freedom, right? So starting to build this right now, and I'm really excited. My goal, just to share with you, because I'm going to start documenting this, kind of like how I did with my first rental property and my second and my third and my first, and like all my other units. So I'm going to document this as well, and show you what I'm doing, what I'm going through, what's difficult, what's working, what's not working, and those types of things. So make sure you follow. Make sure you stay tuned for what's to come, because right now I'm just proving the concept, right? So I'm about to do my first calls. I'm going to take my first calls, get a qualified lead. I'm qualifying my leads right now. I'm qualifying my potential sellers, right? I'm going to go out and meet up with them. All right, I'm going to have someone go out and meet up with them, have an acquisition manager go out, link up at the property, make sure everything's good, get the contract signed, sign the contract, get the buyer. Buyer buys the property. I make my cut. If you want to learn more about wholesaling, we've done several episodes about wholesaling on the YouTube channel. We've had several guests that wholesale. My buddy Ed Blackshear, my buddy Bob Sleeves, my buddy man, if I'm forgetting your name, if I'm not forgetting your name, if I'm forgetting you right now, forgive me. But I got like 3 or 4. Anthony Coletti. I got like 3 or 4 dudes that have been on the podcast that I've been talking to that also wholesale. But if you want to find out more about it, go check out the podcast, go check out the YouTube channel, and they'll explain more in detail. But But basically, like I said, my goal is to close at least one deal in the next 2 months, right? So I'm giving myself 60 days to close on a deal. I want a minimum of $5,000 in for my transaction. I understand there's going to be a learning curve and things like that. I understand the average sale, the average transaction for the type of deals that I'm going for is anywhere between 7.5 and 12.5, but I'm shooting for 5. I'm giving myself a very conservative goal, 2 months to do 5 G's, and that's pretty much it. So right now I'm proving the concept. Right now I'm making the phone calls myself, qualifying and doing basically going from A to Z. As I'm going from A to Z myself, I'm building the system. I'm documenting what I'm doing because I'm about to hire more people to come on and work and basically cold call for me. Hiring more people to come on to be acquisitions managers and dispositions managers, basically to take me out of the positions that I'm in right now, that I'm doing myself, so that I can work on my business and not in my business, right? That's the name of the game, passive income. So anything that you do, anything period that you do that makes money, you can make it passive. You just have to figure out the system in order to do that. So that is the name of the game. That's what my plan is. 5,000, one deal, 2 months, $5,000, and then I'll continually do that from there. I'll continually refine my system. I'll continually scale, hire on more people, and we'll be doing the same thing. And hopefully, we will have a pretty solid operation. My end goal with at least a wholesaling is to make anywhere between 15 and 20, and I think that's pretty conservative by this time next year. So anywhere between 15 and 20 a month by this time next year. That is my goal. So that's gonna mean I'm gonna have to take down 2 to 3 deals a month, and based off of what I'm putting into this right now and how I'm building off of this and talking to my mentors, and if you know anything about wholesaling, you know who Brent Daniels is, and I'm part of his program and got his number on speed dial, so he helps out, and he's a pretty cool guy. The whole community is pretty cool. So I'm taking notes from these guys that are very successful, that are doing very well for themselves, like phenomenally well for themselves, and I'm copying their blueprint, right? And I'm going to go forth and execute, and that's the name of the game. That is my plan. So let me know what you think, dude. Like I will get back on and do another quick video after I've taken a couple phone calls. My first session I'm going to do for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then that's pretty much it. Hopefully, I get a contract, and then I get an appointment, and then we'll just roll from there. So yeah, that's it. I think that is everything I want to say. I'll get back on, keep you updated. This is Dan Wynn signing off. All right, what's going on? This is Dan Wynn, and I just got off my first round of cold calling. I only spoke to like 3 people. I thought I'd be speaking to a lot more people, but I really only spoke to 3 people. It might have to do with the time that I'm calling right now. Right now it's about 7 o'clock, 7:15ish. So maybe that has something to do with it, but lessons learned. Lessons learned from this session, from my very first call session, is one, I need to do a better job of actually taking notes. I only spoke to 2 people, but I didn't take any notes in this. I didn't use the system how it's supposed to be used. So I didn't take the notes as I was talking to the person and put them into my Mojo dialing system like I should. I didn't do that. So that's one lesson learned. 2 is I've only been calling, or the system has only been calling one person at a time. So it typically takes a while to get that person. Maybe there's a bad number, or maybe there's, maybe the phone rings endlessly, or just goes straight to voicemail and things like that. So it takes a while for the system to generate that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to upgrade into a $3 system. So instead of dialing one number at a time, it's going to dial 3 numbers at a time, which obviously exponentially increases the amount of people that I talk to, and it increases that time or decreases that time in between phone calls. So there was like, this is my first time doing it, but there was like at least I probably dialed about about 20 numbers within that 30-minute time period, right? And there was about a minute in between each, well, about 30 seconds to 40 seconds in between each call. Like if I got a bad number, or if it sent me to voicemail, clicked out of it, boom, next number. It took another like 30 to 45 seconds for it to finally get to another person, or for it to at least tell me that that person is, or that number's bad, or get me to voicemail, or something like that, for me to get a response, basically. So it took me a little time. So lesson learned there is I'm going to upgrade, and I'm going to get the $3 system right now. So the next session I'll be on, hopefully I'll speak to more people. And other than that, I mean, that was pretty much it. I think it went okay. I was a little bit nervous because I'm trying to use the script as verbatim as possible. I've been practicing it, and I think I'm pretty fluid with it. But when you get on the phone, it's kind of different. You know how it is when you're actually in the thick of the thing. Sometimes it doesn't flow as smoothly as you rehearsed it, right? So that's pretty much how I felt. I would have given myself maybe I'd say like a 7, maybe a 6.5 out of 10, something like that. So it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't bad. I did my very first person that I spoke to was a dude that he didn't want to sell the home that I looked up, but he did have like 30 acres of land or something like that. That's undeveloped land that's apparently sitting next to on the pathway of development. So he's trying to sell it to a commercial buyer who wants to develop like a hotel or like some retail space or something like that. So that was pretty cool. I gave him my number. I kept him. I'm going to keep him in my list. He has a bunch of other properties. So I did have a pretty cool conversation with him. And that was my first call, that was my like third call. This first person I actually got in contact with, so that was pretty cool. And then I spoke to like a couple of other people, but for the most part, it was who are you, what are you doing, blah blah blah. I stick to the script and answered those questions accordingly, but didn't really pan out to anything. So a lesson learned there is my expectations is to manage my expectations, right? I assume that I'll be talking to people pretty consistently. Over that 30-minute period, I assume that I will talk to about 15 people, but I only talked to like 3 or 4 maybe. So now I know. And I think a lot of that had to do with just the waiting in between. So that $triple is going to help me out a lot too. So, but yeah, that's all. I just want to give you an update on how that first one went. Again, this is Dan Wynn signing off. Actually, hey, wait, I got a couple more things really quick. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends. If you're finding any value out of it, leave a comment below, man. I answer those comments. I kind of feed on that stuff. So leave a comment below. We'll get back to you and answer some of your questions that you have. If you're listening to this on podcast, make sure you do us a favor, leave us a 5-star review, and reach out to us on social media. Our hashtag is @militarycashflow.com or @militarycashflow, excuse me. So you can reach out to us there, ask us any question. Between me, Mike, and all the guests that we've have on, we have a plethora of real estate investing experience and knowledge, just a strong knowledge base on this game, So lastly, if you are listening to this, make sure you go and join the Facebook group. We have our Facebook group, our Military Cashflow Facebook group. Right now, we have like over 350-ish service members on there, past and present, that are all real estate investors. Some of them are learning, but a lot of them, most of them, I'd say about half of them have already transacted deals and are continuing to transact deals. So the whole group is all about just helping each other build wealth and create cash flow. And a lot of it we're talking about, VA loans. There's a lot of things that are going on in the group. So I just want to leave you with that note. Make sure you join the Facebook group, become a part of the community, add value, leave an intro and things like that, and build a network. That's what this is all about, man. Like your network equals your net worth. So those are true words, man. That's true words. So with that, that's pretty much it. This is Dan Wynn signing off.